All right, so this video is intended to help you start graphing using Desmos if you either lost your graphing calculator or don't have access to one right now. Desmos is a great tool, and so I'm here at the desmos.com homepage, and I'm going to click the red button to start graphing. And you can graph any kind of function you want in Desmos. It's really nice. So let's say we're working with the absolute value functions that you all have been using. So I'm going to type in one, say y equals abs for absolute value, put in parentheses x minus 4, close those parentheses, and then say plus 2. So we know that that gives us a V-shaped graph like you see over here in red. And the minus 4 indicates a shift of right 4, and the plus 2 indicates a shift of up 2. So that's what you see here. Excuse me, starting from the point 0, 0. If we go right 4 and up 2, you get this vertex here at 4, 2. Notice if I hold my mouse over that, it even brings up the vertex point. I can go ahead and click that, and it will label that point. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, is there a way to enter absolute value without using the ABS? And yes, there is. You have to there's a button right above the enter button that looks like the absolute value sign. So if you hold down shift and then hit that button right above your enter button on your keyboard, you get that symbol that looks like absolute value. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that around the x minus 4, and notice you get the same things. You could use ABS, or you could use those absolute value symbols, those vertical lines. And now some of you may be thinking, well, how do I get a table? Because I know that I'm required to label values on the graph. And so how you do that is actually pretty simple. So what you do is you hit plus here to add an item. And I'm going to hit table here. And then it starts to build a table for you. And instead of the y1 over here, what you need to do is delete that. And you need to put in the expression that you want your x's to plug into. So that would be the right-hand side of your equation. So you can just go ahead and highlight that and copy it. I'm going to use Control-C to copy. Control-C and then Control-V will paste. And just paste that in. If you're having trouble copying and pasting, though, you could always just retype it as well. And then there's one other issue. Notice you're getting this apostrophe here. And that's because you needed this variable, this x1 in here, or this x, to match up with the x1 in the table over here. So you have to make that an x1. And the way you do that is probably the easiest way is just to copy and paste. So you can just copy that and paste it in there. And then once you do that, once that's there, then you can just put in some points. So you can put in, like we know the vertex is at 4, and notice it automatically fills in 4, 2. And if I do some points on each side, say 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. And notice it puts those graphs nicely in green there, or those points in green right on the graph. And if you actually click on them, it'll throw those labels up there too, so you can see them. So anyway, I hope that helps. Just one more thing. So you can use this for other types of functions too. Just keep in mind. So for example, if you wanted to delete this, if you wanted to do square root function, so you can go square root, you can go x minus 4 plus 2. There's that square root function. I'm going to go ahead and turn those points off real quick. Or you could do quadratic functions, so you could do parentheses x minus 4 parentheses power. You have to hit shift and then the number 6 to get that power button, so shift. And there's your parabola, or you can make it a cubic function like we've been talking about. So those are all different options for graphing. Again, if I wanted to get the points for this one, I could just, again, copy and paste that in here and make sure that's an x1. And there's those points. And if you hit this little button again, it'll throw those points up on the graph. I could zoom in and zoom out just by scrolling on the mouse. So anyway, I hope that helps. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. All right, thank you.